Vince Gill is a name that resonates deeply within the world of country music. With over 22 Grammy Awards, countless hits, and the undeniable respect of his peers in Nashville, he's often seen as a figure of success and grace. However, few people know that behind his career achievements lies a series of painful personal losses that have shaped not only his music, but his soul. The journey of Vince Gill isn't just about fame and fortune. It's a tale of tragedy, resilience, and the power of music to heal deep wounds. From the death of his older brother to the unraveling of his marriage and his own health struggles, Vince's life has been anything but easy. Yet, despite it all, he continues to create music that moves millions, finding comfort in his art while grappling with the ghosts of his past. Growing up in Norman, Oklahoma, Vince Gill was born in Norman, Oklahoma in the late 1950s, a place far removed from the glitz and glamour of Nashville. Growing up in a modest home, music was always present. His father, J. Stanley "Stan" Gill, was a strict lawyer by profession, but found peace in playing the guitar and banjo at home, often unwinding on the porch after a long day. Vince's mother, Jareen Gill, added to the musical atmosphere with her harmonica playing and beautiful voice. From a young age, Vince was immersed in a musical environment. While it wasn't the world of grand stages, it was a space where songs told stories of everyday life, love, and loss. Music wasn't just a hobby, it was the heartbeat of the Gill household, binding the family together through both joy and hardship. The early spark, Vince's first guitar. Vince's love for music began early, nurtured by the sounds of his family's impromptu performances. At just 5 years old, his grandmother gifted him an old guitar. The small instrument in his hands became the key to unlocking his musical destiny. Vince's first lesson, Old Shep, set the stage for what would become a lifelong relationship with music. His early exposure to instruments like the dobro, banjo, and fiddle allowed him to experiment and develop his unique sound. His first music teacher, J. Julian Atkins, saw the young boy's rare talent and encouraged him not just to play, but to respect every note. Vince quickly learned that music was serious work, and it became his escape, his way to express feelings that words alone couldn't capture. The influence of his brother Bob. Among the key figures in Vince's musical journey was his half-brother, Bob Cohen, who was 12 years older than Vince. Bob was not just a brother, but Vince's first true companion in the world of music. They would spend hours together, strumming guitars and singing along to the radio, dreaming of big stages and a future filled with music. Bob believed in Vince before anyone else, understanding his shy nature and helping him find confidence. Vince often credits Bob with shaping his musical soul, calling him the person who believed in me first. The bond between the two was deep, and Vince would later say that Bob's presence on stage, even in small local venues, gave him the courage to perform. Bob was a symbol of freedom and passion for Vince, inspiring him to pursue his dreams fearlessly. Tragedy strikes, the accident that changed everything. When Vince was just 10 years old, his world was shattered by a car accident that left his brother Bob severely injured. The crash caused catastrophic brain damage, and for months, Bob lay in a coma. Though he miraculously woke up, the once vibrant and energetic man Vince had known was now physically and mentally altered. Bob's life was never the same, and neither was Vince's. Watching his brother suffer through memory loss, pain, and communication difficulties, Vince felt as if he had lost him long before Bob's eventual death in 1993. Bob's death, at the age of 48, was a blow that Vince never fully recovered from. The pain, though years in the making, still felt fresh. In a 2022 interview, Vince shared that he had lost his brother twice. Once when the accident changed him, and again when Bob passed away. The struggles of early career, resilience in the face of rejection. In the 1970s, Vince left Norman with nothing more than his guitar and a dream of making it in music. He joined the local bluegrass band Mountain Smoke, where he played music and learned the tough realities of the industry. In smoky bars with rowdy crowds, Vince discovered that the music business wasn't glamorous. It was a battlefield. After one particularly harsh performance, where the audience threw beer bottles and jeered, Vince walked off the stage in frustration. He learned his first lesson in resilience that night. Music wasn't always about adoration. Sometimes it was about defending your dignity. Despite the struggles, Vince's time in Mountain Smoke built the toughness and inner strength he would need to survive the unpredictable nature of the music industry. From struggles to stardom. Joining Pure Prairie League. In 1978, Vince's big break came when he joined the country rock band Pure Prairie League. Initially just a guitarist and backup vocalist, Vince's talent quickly pushed him to the forefront as the lead singer, replacing Craig Fuller. The band's album Can't Hold Back marked Vince's official debut with them, but it was the 1980 hit Let Me Love You Tonight that catapulted him to fame. The song, which blended country with pop influences, became a chart-topping success and gave Vince a taste of the limelight. However, the band soon faced internal tensions as members disagreed on the direction of their sound. Vince, often caught between the band's desire for a more mainstream pop approach and his bluegrass roots, found himself at odds with other members. The inevitable breakup of the band left Vince once again standing alone, but with valuable lessons learned about the fragility of group success. Starting over. The solo journey begins. In 1982, Vince left Pure Prairie League to pursue a solo career. The road to stardom was not smooth, though. His debut solo album, The Things That Matter, didn't make a big splash, and Vince spent years performing in small clubs, often singing to only a few dozen people. During these years of struggle, he supported himself by playing session guitar for artists like Rosanne Cash and Emmylou Harris. Vince was determined, however, to find his voice and establish himself as a solo artist. It wasn't until the release of his 1987 album The Way Back Home that Vince began to see a glimmer of success. The minor hit Cinderella showed promise, but it was still a long road ahead before Vince found the stardom he had been dreaming of. Perseverance through hardship. Finding his voice. In the late 1980s, Vince's perseverance began to pay off. His songwriting grew more personal, reflecting the depth of his own experiences. As he honed his craft, his music began to resonate with a wider audience, and his voice, rich with emotion, became one of the most distinctive in country music. By the early 1990s, Vince Gill had solidified his place in the country music world, thanks to his heartfelt ballads and raw vulnerability. The lessons he had learned through decades of personal loss, professional rejection, and relentless perseverance shaped his music into something that spoke not only to the country music community, but to millions of fans worldwide. With each song, he continues to honor the memories of those he's lost, using music as both a tribute and a tool for healing.